It's football time, which turns Thursday and Sunday into the best days of the week. Well, they just got better because now through October 27th, Keno has 30% higher payouts during bonus hours. Win $500, it becomes $650. That's like getting extra field goal points for scoring a touchdown. So play Keno online and anywhere Keno is sold and get 30% higher payouts during bonus hours. Thursdays 6 to 8 p.m. and Sundays 1 to 3 p.m. Only from the Georgia Lottery. Play responsibly.
A common sense recap of the day's biggest stories. It's John Catsimatidis and Rita Cosby. Katz and Cosby on 77 WABC.
Well, we were just talking about President Trump announcing that if he gets back into the White House, he will deport especially criminals that are migrants in this country. And unfortunately, the numbers are skyrocketing in that category. And joining us now to talk about all of this is Tom Homan. He is the former ICE director under President Trump. Tom, it's really great to have you here. Your reaction, first of all, to President Trump saying on day one, he's going to do what he's calling Operation Aurora.
Well, look, I think it's the right thing, and we need to make sure the American people realize it's not what you hear from the left that he's going to, do neighborhood sweeps and build concentration camps. It's just ridiculous. He has said from day one he's going to concentrate on the public safety threats, the national security threats first. They come first. No one's off the table. If you're in the country legally, you got a problem. However, we're going to take care of the criminals and national security threats first, and that's the way it should be. And that's what he did during his first 4 years, and we're going to stick to that plan.
Tom Homan, you know this better than anybody. Those new numbers that just came out, that it was 400,000 plus convicted criminals that are roaming at large in this country, including 13,000 convicted murderers. I mean, how big of a threat do you think they pose to America? I hear that number, my jaw drops.
Well, it should drop. And the problem is twofold. Number one, the border's wide open, and we got 10.5 million border encounters. Most of them were released into the United States without proper vetting. And even if they're vetting, they're not really vetted because we don't have access to other countries' criminal data. So when they say they vet them against NCIC, which is our system, but we don't know what criminal history they have in their home country. So millions have been released in the United States. And not only that, you got sanctuary cities have exploded. So criminals are walking out of jails every day without being turned over to ICE. Finally, we got 2.2 million gotaways. 2.2 million people cross the border and try to escape and not turn themselves in because they got something to hide. So this administration has caused two things: the greatest national security vulnerability that I've ever seen in this nation, and the biggest public safety crisis we've ever seen.
We all agree, and I just can't understand how almost 50%, 48%, 49% still want Kamala Harris. I mean, Governor Patterson, what do you think? You know the inner cities.
I think that...
Well, my opinion is, I was asked this question the other day, people that think Harris should be the president, only one thing comes to mind, that they hate President Trump more than they love this country because they want this woman to be the CEO of this nation. They must hate Trump an awful lot to be willing to do that because she shouldn't be president in this country. She should be after she compared ICE to the KKK, she attacked the men of the Border Patrol, Horse Patrol, calling them racist. She should have lost any opportunity to become the commander-in-chief when you start attacking and slandering the men and women who put their lives on the line for this country today and try to secure that border and save lives.
Absolutely. Tom Homan, Governor Patterson's in studio. Your thoughts, Governor?
Well, I think that as long as you're willing to understand that there have been some pretty inflammatory comments on both sides, then you can accept the criticism of Kamala Harris. But I think the problem is that somewhere they came up with this idea that they could win the election without her having to perform. And I thought what she should have done was to just get right out there, have press conferences, fight it out. You'll mess up a few times, but it's the only way you can become president.
But she won't face the questions, and that's the issue.
That's what I'm saying. That's where I think the campaign. After the debate with President Trump, she was in pretty good shape. But so I thought after her performance against him that she would come out and now just start talking to the press by herself. She just hasn't done that.
But you know, the reason is they were softball questions to her and they grilled President Trump. It was 3 against 1. That wasn't a fair debate. And she knew it. And so that's why anything that was fair, she's been avoiding.
And
I mean,
think
you look
there's
at
something more of that first debate than we know about.
I agree, John. There is something more to the story.
Because she was overconfident going into that.
Yeah, it was. It seemed like she was too smooth, especially since all the interviews post then. She's been a bumbling mess. Tom Homan, real quick, because one of the other things that she did say just last night, I couldn't believe this. She said, I will put my record on the border up against anybody in this country. I mean, what is your reaction to that hogwash?
Well, she must have been drunk, because her record on the border is atrocious. We went for the most secure border in my lifetime under President Trump. That's not my opinion. That is a fact. Anybody can go to cbp.gov and look at the government's own data. The most secure border in my lifetime, and within months, we had historic, never seen before, illegal immigration numbers. Again, over 10.5 million encounters on the southwest border. And when you overwhelm the border patrol to that extent, that's when the fentanyl came across to kill 250,000 young Americans. That's when over 500,000 children have been smuggled in this country at the hands of criminal cartels. That's when you have a 600% increase in sex trafficking of women and children across that border. That's when you have a record number, 289 people on the terrorist watch list arrested coming across that border. That's when you have 2.2 million gotaways. How many of them came from a country sponsoring terror? That you have a record amount of money being made by the criminal cartels in the billions of dollars. That's what happens when you don't secure the border, and she owns every bit of that.
Yeah, I agree. Tom Homan, thank you very much, former ICE director, and thanks for your great service to this country, too. Thank you very much.
You got it. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Tom, very much.
The Humana Gold Plus Give Back Medicare Advantage Plan gives you $1,368 back each year in your Social Security check. Choose coverage that helps you keep more money in your pocket. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. The Part B Give Back benefit pays part or all of your Part B premium, and the amount may change based on the amount you pay for Part B. Limitations and restrictions may apply. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.